It's out. Sabatini gets a break and leads 4-3, second set. Argentina's Gabriela Sabatini, the 7th seed in the 1987 French Open, has a break and is serving at 4-3 in the second set. Graf has won the first set 6-4.
It's incredible to think that this is Sabatini, only Sabatini's 7th Grand Slam tournament in a career. It's a 3rd visit here to Roland Garros, though. 2nd year in the semi-finals. Pretty impressive record.
Ooh.
That's the one that you were talking about, that deep one that sort of skids, gets behind her a little bit, and she's got to hook it up in the air.
Yeah, she doesn't really get the racket back real early on those deep ones. Then she has to snap at it. And if you doesn't catch it just right, it can go for a big ride. Good disguise.
And it's Sabatini that tries to play the short ball here. Graf gets to it. Sabatini moving for that one, but I don't think she runs up and back as well as she runs from side to side.
I couldn't agree more. But again, good disguise by Graf, and by the time she got off the starting blocks, it was too late. Perfect. Got to give that young lady credit. She's going after her shots.
There's 2 shots that have been successful for this young lady thus far today. One is the backhand down the line. She sliced that one. And the other one is the forehand, the off forehand, this one here, that she hits deep into the backhand corner. If she's to win that match, she's got to be patient and wait until she gets a chance to play either one of those strokes.
Mademoiselle Sabatini.
So Sabatini moves out to a 5-3 lead in the second set. Another wild forehand by Steffi Graf. So Graf's back is against the wall in this set, serving at 3-5. Playing 1 hour and 17 minutes. Following this match, don't forget Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. So we've got more terrific tennis coming your way.
Pretty much a carbon copy of their Italian final, Tony. As I was saying to Betsy Nagelson, Steffi looked as though she had this under control. Suddenly loses 5 or 6 points and right now in trouble.
If that hit the line, it must hit the outside half of it. Gabriela must agree. Didn't say anything. She went to take a look at the mark. 15-all.
Sabatini, if this goes to 3 sets, she's played 7 3-set matches this year, and she's won but 3 of them. So gets a little weary in the 3rd set. She's been working on her stamina, doing quite a bit of running, stomach exercises.
J'ai 40-15.
They certainly know, let you know it here if you make a mistake in that umpire's chair. Very learned crowd here, Roland Garros, and whistles and hoots if you make an error up there.
So Graf hangs on, and when we come back, Sabatini will be serving for the second set. And welcome back to the center court at Roland Garros. 1987 French Open on Nine's Wide World of Sports. Gabriela Sabatini serving at 5-4, trying to level this match at 1 set apiece. Fred, it seems to me that Graf's shots are flying some, and I just wonder whether she'd be smart to go to a little tighter racket to kill some of that liveliness.
Possibly would help as we see the ominous skies above the staid Roland Garros here. I think the wind has dropped here a little also, Tony, as the clouds come overhead. And it's tough for the girls to get into any type of rhythm at the moment, I feel.
Chris Everett was quoted as saying that this is a tough place to play because the conditions vary so much. Great backhand, the one you mentioned, Fred, in this triple set point for Sabatini.
I think that has a great surprise element to it as far as Graf is concerned, because she hits this as well as any backhand. Waits for the right shot, and Graf looking for that one to go back to the backhand side, just no chance to get there.
Return winner. So it's still 2 set points for Sabatini. This is when the good players add some pressure, add some pace to their shots. Graf thinks it was out. It goes down as second set. 1 hour and 23 minutes of play. So each player has won a set 6-4.
That was incredible because that serve, as Sabatini hit the serve, Graf played it, but then took a look at the linesperson to no avail as the chair umpire Paolo Pereira calls the score. It doesn't come back after the score's been called, so it's 1 set apiece. Roland Garros scoreboard there. 1 hour and 24 minutes old, this match.
But I would expect to see Steffi Graf try to pick up the tempo a little bit. Started this 3rd set. Try to regain the control of the match.
I think both girls in the first 2 or 3 games here have got to try and dominate. They've got to try and take over.
Awful lot of unforced errors from the number 2 seed, Steffi Graf. Sabatini hesitated, hit the ball on the backhand side and hesitated just long enough. Right here, now she has to make a low volley, a stretching volley. Graf wisely takes it in the air before she can recover and blocks it down the line.
Good move by Graf there. Come forward on that shot.
Steffi Graf wins the first game of the final set. A view from the outside looking in of the center court at Stade Roland Garros in Paris. Steffi Graf, the number 2 seed, has held serve, so Gabriela Sabatini will be serving at love 1 in the final set, and joining me in the booth is Betsy Nagelson. Betsy, Steffi Graf's made an awful lot of unforced errors in this match. Really has kept her in trouble.
She has Tony, and Sabatini, on the other hand, is starting to dictate a few more points, starting to be a little bit more aggressive again. Good whipping backhand from Sabatini that makes Graf have to dip down for it.
Yeah, Graf is flat nervous right now, in my opinion. She's just not going after that ball at all.
Not at all. I mean, this is a bad error from Graf. She sort of pushes this one deep and wide, and that's a tentative shot.
30 love.
She has really shown a lot of impatience, in my opinion. She's trying to go for her shots, but she's making way too many errors.
Actually, I was suggesting to Fred earlier that maybe Graf's racket seems a little loose to me. Her balls seem to be flying, and that would be a time if she had one to go to a racket that's more tightly strung, because that kills some of the trampoline effect, the slingshot effect off your racket. Steffi's shot there was very, very short.
Gabriela just gave her that point. She still has a 40-15 lead in this second game of the third set. That time Graf forced the error from Sabatini. She kept the ball deep, kept it in play, didn't try to do too much. Sabatini tried to hit a tough shot. She's been able to dictate a number of points in a row, Sabatini.
Here's where a confident Steffi Graf steps around and really hits a forehand hard. Let's see what she tries here. Steffi Graf is claiming the ball is out. The linesperson coming out to take a look at the mark.
Mademoiselle Sabatini.
So the linesperson says it was in fact on the line. We'll make it 1-all, and Graf is going to make an appeal. Let's hear what she says.
Did you see that? I mean, she was touching it.
I got to give her credit. You know, she thinks she's been wrong. She thinks she got a bad call. She went up as a lady, as a sports person, asked the umpire a question in a decent tone, took the answer, and now she's coming back out to play. I wish every tennis player could do it that way. 1-all, final set.
I think now we'll see what Steffi Graf is made of. How will she react now? It's 1-all in the third set. She's playing a player she's never lost to, which is in the semifinals of a Grand Slam.
Looked like the wind might have taken that one a little bit.
She moves forward to try to take it on the top of its bounce, moves in. Can't tell, but certainly the wind moved it around a bit. You can see the flags really moving in the wind.
See the way she had to back up quickly at the last moment, that it was blown away from her a little bit. 30-15. We're looking at two of the youngsters that we'll be watching for the next 10 or 15 years, barring injury.
Again, some impatience from Steffi Graf.
In a shot like that, she wasn't really trying to do that much, and she just missed a lot of those slice backhands that I think she normally feels she can just keep in play and move the opponent around some.
You really get the feeling she's in a big hurry out there. She's really trying to just end this match, and it's not being productive for her.
And a break point for Sabatini. That young lady definitely feeling the pressure. I mentioned at the opening of the show, she had a lot of pressure on her shoulders. Some umbrellas are coming up in the stands. The raincoats are coming on. It must be drizzling a little bit. Gone from a drizzle to an absolute downpour.
40.
Players are looking, appealing to the umpire, saying we're going to call this thing. He has to wait to get the message from the referee. Both players are walking up. Umpire saying just wait a second, and Graf says we can't possibly play in this. The umpire still not announced that there will be an official delay, but both players have their jackets on, their gear, and are starting for the locker room.
Le jeu est suspense.
Now he's announced that play is suspended, and it is 1-all in deuce in the third and final set. So to recap for you, in the first set, Steffi Graf won 6-4. Sabatini came back to win the second 6-4, and we're 1-all in deuce. And Betsy, just your overview of the match thus far.
Well, I feel as though both players have had their ups and downs. I think Steffi started off a little bit nervous, a little bit impatient, calmed herself, was able to take the first set. And I find her in that same situation right now. I have a feeling this rain delay is going to help Steffi, because she's going to... One little girl got lost under the covers here, but she's going to have a chance to calm herself down and to take some time to think about the situation. Hopefully she can isolate this match and keep it away from the occasion.
Okay, and Fred, a good point. Steffi really struggling, making a lot of errors. Do you think this delay will help her? Is it a plus for her, or is it a plus for Sabatini?
I think it's a plus for Steffi Graf. Had that one hit the tape and gone over, and Sabatini had the break, I think this match may have taken a different twist. However, I think for Steffi Graf to get out of this match now, Tony, I think she's got to come up with a few topspin backhands rather than just slicing everything at the moment. And at this stage, Sabatini is a more complete player than Graf.
Okay, so once again, the situation, Steffi Graf won the first set 6-4. Sabatini came back to win the second 6-4. It is 1-all in deuce. When the rains have come, we're going to take a break, and we'll be back. World of sports to Roland Garros, the 1987 French Open Tennis Championships. As you can see, the sun has come out. The players are back on court and have approximately 1 minute left of their warm-up after a 1 hour and 12-minute rain delay. The court was successfully covered. Swept the rain off the cover and took the tarpaulins off, and after a little extra work, we're just about ready to go. And to recap the situation, Steffi Graf, the #2 seed, won the first set from Gabriela Sabatini, who was seeded #7 here, 6-4. Sabatini came back and won the second set 6-4, and the score is 1-all in deuce. And this, of course, is semifinal action. The winner of this match advances obviously to the finals, and we'll play the winner of the match coming up next. There's the scoreboard between Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. So we have lots of good tennis for you. Betsy, we talked about this before we went off the air. What do you think about the psychology of what's happened now? Who do you think this helped the most, this delay?
Well, Tony, I think it probably had to help Steffi Graf the most. Sabatini took the second set 6-4, was on a little bit of a roll, and Steffi was starting to show some impatience and just a little bit of tentativeness. I think the pressure that we've been talking about is starting to take a little bit of a toll. I think this hour and 12 minutes, she had time to hopefully to regroup, to calm herself, come back out with a game plan.
40 au service, Mademoiselle Graf.
So Paulo Pereira, the umpire, has announced that it'll be 1-all in deuce. Graf to serve. Well, both players obviously go in. They probably shower, change clothes, have a chance to talk to their coaches. And I think it's safe to say that Graf was favored in this match, and yet it's been a struggle. As you said, she's been very shaky, particularly late in the second set and early in this third set. So I would agree that this has helped her. Of course, time will tell. They used old balls for the warm-up, and now they're getting the balls back that were in play when rain suspended play.
peu de silence, s'il vous plaît. Le jeu reprendre. S'il vous plaît.
The natives are somewhat restless, and I'm not exactly sure why. They're doing a little chanting up in the unreserved section.
Silence, s'il vous plaît. Le jeu reprendre. S'il vous plaît.
1-all in deuce, final set.
Silence, s'il vous plaît.
And Steffi just holding on because she needs
S'il
to.
vous plaît.
She needs quiet. She needs
Pour
to
courtoisie.
gain her concentration and composure. Meanwhile, she steps across and takes another practice serve just to keep loose.
Release a little tension, too. Here we go. It's not an easy second serve to get in under the circumstances.
Avantage, Sabatini.
And break point for Sabatini. It's out. Sabatini breaks and leads 2-1 in the final set. Argentina's Gabriela Sabatini has a service break. Apparently has the support of this French crowd as she comes out to serve at 2-1 in the final set. That's the situation.
Steffi continuing to make a couple of unforced errors. Sabatini looking very calm and composed.
Great shot. Terrific point.
Steffi Graf has both speed of foot and strength. She is really strong. That ball was almost behind her, and she was able to get around it and whip that forehand for a winner. Big point. 15-all.
Graf not getting very good depth on her shots. She's won what, Betsy? 37 matches in a row? 6 tournaments?
That's right. 6 tournaments. She hasn't lost a match this year. 37 matches in a row. And both Chris and Martine are talking how she's, as of right now, the #1 player of the year, even though on our computer she is not #1, she's #2. Graf coming in, which is a tactic I think she should use more of. Make Sabatini come up with a passing shot. Sabatini just floated that backhand, sliced it.
30 all. Double fault. That is her second of the match and gives Graf a break point. Gives Graf a chance to get even at 2 all in this final set. Well, we've been talking about the Graf forehand, Betsy. The Sabatini forehand is an awfully big weapon also.
Well, it sure is. She hits it a little bit differently. She sweeps up the back of the ball a little bit more. But look how early she takes it and she swings through the ball, gets a lot of topspin.
She got that one nice and deep, too. So it's deuce.
Avantage, Mademoiselle Graf.
Graf still gives that air of confidence, though. Just watch her move around, you watch her play, and it doesn't really look like she's tentative or like she doesn't believe she's going to win this match, although she's made a lot of unforced errors.
Another break point for Graf. Graf has gotten her service break back and is leveled at 2 all in the final set.
Sabatini continuing to dictate the rhythm with which this match is being played in. Sabatini really taking her time between points.
Lovely shot. As you mentioned earlier, graceful player. We'll take another look. Watch how Sabatini glides over early preparation. The good topspin rolls it to the angles. We come back to live action, 15 all. Those were forehands that Steffi was missing before the rain delay.